Welcome to How to Cook That. I'm Reardon and today we're making a 3D Spider-Man cake. Spidey has always been super popular and now he's in Captain America Civil War, so there have been a ton of requests flooding in for a Spider-Man cake. To make this one you will need 2 trays of my chocolate cake, and I'll put all of the recipes on my howtocookthat.net website and I'll link to that below. You can also print and cut out the template from there, and I've made that for you to make this cake super easy to make. Once your cake is cooled, simply put the templates on there and cut around each one using a knife. Take a cake board and you'll need to add a support down the center of this. If you have a wooden cake board, you can just drill a hole and put your support right in. Spread some frosting on the baseboard to stop the cake from slipping, and then add layer number 1. Spread it with some simple syrup, and this just helps keep the cake moist when we're making a carved cake. Then add another layer of frosting and try and spread this out to get it as level as you can, and then continue to stack on layers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Then place the front template in front of the cake and cut down the slope for Spider-Man's muscly shoulders and neck there. Now it's almost the right shape already because you've used the template, so you just need to smooth off these corners on his neck so it's not quite so square. So just cut that off, take a tiny bit off at a time because you can always cut off more. Then cover the whole thing in frosting, following the shape of the cake, going in at the arms and around his body. For his head, you'll need rice bubbles and marshmallows. Just melt the marshmallows in the microwave, about 30 seconds should do it, and then mix through those rice bubbles. Now, some people have been telling me in the comments that they're subscribed, but they're not getting notified of new videos. The most reliable thing you can do is to subscribe through my website, and I'll email you every time there's a new video. I'll add a link for email subscriptions just below this video. Place the head template under some baking paper and pile up the rice bubbles on top, and then just use damp hands to shape Spider-Man's face shape. Then turn it over onto the side and use the side template to shape the back of his head. It actually comes out quite a long way there. Then you want to place that in the freezer for about 15 minutes just to set up the gelatin that's in the marshmallows, and then add a cake spike into the base of the head, which looks a bit gruesome, but that's going to hold it into place. And it's best if you can make this the day ahead so that it can set really firm. Then cover it with frosting and add it to the top of your cake. Add some more frosting and smooth out the join where the head is joining onto Spidey's neck there. Take a long raindrop-shaped piece of red fondant and add it to the front of his face, a bit like a muzzle, and then about halfway up flatten it to make the base of his nose so that the nose is sticking up a bit. And then the bottom bit you want to flatten it a bit but not completely because the chin area is also forward. Then add a short snake of red going across where his clavicle bone would be, and then wrapping up around where that big neck muscle comes down. Then roll out some red fondant and completely cover Spider-Man's face and body. And just use your hands to lift and smooth the fondant and just gently push it in around his neck. Kind of looks like I'm strangling him there. And then just keep smoothing it out. At the back, squeeze together the excess and trim it off with scissors and then smooth it down. Then trim off the excess around the base to make it nice and neat. Now, using a fondant extruder, make a long, skinny snake of black. If you don't have one of these, you could roll them by hand, but it's going to be very difficult to get it perfectly even. Add the lines going down Spidey's face, just using a little bit of water to make them stick. Then add the lines that go around his face. Now, depending on the Spider-Man that you're looking at, the number and positions of these lines seem to vary. So just choose one that you like the look of and copy that. And then continue those lines from his face down over his body. Next, we need to use the template to make the spider. Add all of the legs into place, just rolling the ends of them to make them skinnier and pointier. Roll a tiny bit for the fangs and use your knife to push it into the center there, and just use the tip of your knife to position them pointing up. And now roll a circle and elongate it at one end so it's like a long teardrop, and add that into place in the middle over his legs. Then take a knife and indent it on each side and across the top in the middle to split it into a head and an abdomen. Now place that in the freezer so that it can firm up. To make Spider-Man's eyes, cut around the template in white fondant, then add a little bit of water around the edge of that and add a strip of black all the way around the outside of the eye. Then using a little bit of water, add the eye into place on Spider-Man's face. On the base of his arm, add a strip of blue just coming across the chest under his pec muscle there and around his arm, and use your knife to push it in where his arm meets his body and trim it off around the base of the cake. Take the spider out of the freezer and peel off the baking paper off the back and add it to the center of Spider-Man's chest. I really don't like spiders. And then using the color of your choice, cover the cake board in fondant. And then your cake is ready. It kind of feels like I'm stabbing Peter Parker when I cut into this cake. Make sure you share this video with a Spidey fan. Subscribe to How to Cook That for more cakes, chocolates and desserts. Click here for my YouTube channel, here for the recipe, and here for the Avengers cake. Put all of your requests in the comments below, and Fan of the Week goes to this lovely young lady who has the Deep Enders book and has put a photo of it on her Instagram. If you would like me to see your photos, make sure you hashtag them How to Cook That. Make it a great week, and I'll see you on Friday.